Welcome to Pioneer Valley Habitat for Humanity's new volunteer orientation. Thank you for joining us in our mission to create affordable housing and strengthen communities. We're here today to learn a little bit more about what it takes to be a volunteer with Habitat, what some of the different opportunities are, and for you to ask the questions you have that will get you ready to volunteer. My name is Megan McDonough. I'm the executive director at Pioneer Valley Habitat. Sometimes these orientations are done by volunteers or other staff people, but I'm glad that I get to meet you guys tonight. So here's just a brief outline of what we're going to cover this evening, sort of the background and history of Habitat, some things about our values and common questions, different types of volunteer opportunities, sort of a how-to of what you should know before showing up for your first construction shift, and a little bit about where we're building right now. We'll watch a video from one of our homeowners telling you about their experience and then have an opportunity for questions. So, Pioneer Valley Habitat for Humanity is part of a global network of Habitat affiliates. Habitat for Humanity International is a nonprofit organization dedicated to building affordable housing for those in need. The idea is that everyone should have a decent place to live, and that's the mission behind all of what we do. Habitat works through a network of local affiliates who operate independently but share the same mission and overall guidelines, collaborating to address housing challenges in their respective communities. Pioneer Valley Habitat is the local affiliate that serves Hampshire and Franklin counties in Western Mass. And you can see in the orange, that's Hampshire and Franklin County, these two areas here. But it's great to see this whole network. There's also a Greater Springfield Habitat that serves the Hampden County, Berkshire Habitat, one out of Worcester. There's about 16 different Habitat affiliates across the entire state serving different geographic regions. And through our collective efforts, we continue to increase the number of homes being built, bringing hope and stability to families in need worldwide. Habitat for Humanity's roots trace back to Koinonia Farm, which was a Christian community in Georgia founded by a fellow named Clarence Jordan in the 1940s. Koinonia's emphasis was on racial equity, poverty alleviation, and community development that inspired the creation of Habitat for Humanity, where these values continue to shape the mission of building homes alongside families. Habitat was founded in 1976 by Millard and Linda Fuller after they spent time at Koinonia Farm with the vision of building simple, decent homes for families in need. A great resource for understanding Habitat's origins is a documentary called Briars in the Cotton Patch, which offers insight into the Fuller's journey and the development of the organization, highlighting its core values of partnership and community building. And you can watch this documentary for free on YouTube. It's a great story and a true story. So, Habitat's founding in the 1970s aimed to address housing inequities by partnering with families in need to build simple, decent, and affordable homes, providing opportunities for home ownership where financial barriers exist. This work is rooted in a commitment to racial and economic justice. And our local habitat here in Western Massachusetts was founded by a dedicated group of local volunteers in 1989, inspired by the mission of Habitat International to provide affordable housing alongside families with low incomes. Their commitment to building homes and strengths and communities in those early days still drives the organization's impact locally and internationally today. So where are we building these houses? Most of the houses we've built are sort of along that central corridor in Hampshire and Franklin County. Majority of them have been in Northampton, a number in Greenfield, but we've also built homes in some of the rural communities out in Shutesbury and Conway. Since our founding, we've proudly built 59 homes in Hampshire and Franklin County, and each home built represents a step towards providing families with stability and opportunity and help to make more vibrant communities. And so you, as a volunteer, can play a critical role in this effort, helping us to continue to grow and reach more families in need of affordable housing. This diagram is showing a little bit about the life cycle of a habitat project. So we start with land. We have to build in a place. Um, Sometimes the land is purchased, sometimes it's donated. We have a site selection committee that helps to evaluate whether a site is suitable, and then the board decides whether or not we have the resources to make a commitment to build in a particular location. We also then, after we have land and we decide, yes, we're going to build there, then our family selection committee starts working. They put out a call for applications for that project. They review all the applications that come in to see who's eligible and gets entered into a lottery and who will partner with us in the construction. And then the house starts getting built, and we have construction volunteers who are helping to build a home alongside the future homeowner and a whole variety of community volunteers and some local businesses and subcontractors. And during that construction process, our family support committee members assign a mentor to each of the future homeowners to help provide guidance and support through the home ownership process. And after the homes are built, Pioneer Valley Habitat sells the home to the future homeowner, and they purchase the home and start repaying their mortgage, paying local property taxes and insurance, and take on that responsibility of home ownership. The affordability of that home is then protected with a deed restriction that keeps the home affordable into the future. It's really a collaborative effort from committee volunteering to construction volunteering that ensures we can continue to provide safe, stable homes for families in our area through this collective action. If you want to join a committee, we'll talk a little bit more about that later, but you'll want to send an email to volunteer@pvhabitat.org so we can connect you with the right one. We're always looking for passionate individuals to help us strengthen our mission and make a lasting difference in our community. I love this quote here. A lot of times we learn about service, we learn about love, and we talk about it, but Habitat lets us put it all into practice. Jimmy Carter. President Carter was one of Habitat's most well-known supporters and emphasized this practice of service. And I think this quote sort of captures the heart of what we do here at Habitat. We don't just talk about doing things, we get out there and we make it happen. We lift a hammer and we put our mission and our values of belonging and having a decent place to live into action. So as volunteers, you're not just learning about service today, you are taking the first step to doing it and putting it into practice. We like to build simple, affordable, and sustainable homes. We focus on building homes that are energy efficient. Their homes are Energy Star certified, meaning they meet strict energy efficiency standards set by the EPA. This helps our homeowners save money on energy costs and also reduce their environmental footprint, which helps us be part of the long-term sustainable future we'd like to see. We work towards achieving net zero energy, which means that the homes we build have the opportunity to produce as much energy as they consume over the course of a year. We often call them net zero possible homes because there's a lot of factors that go into that. And this is accomplished through a combination of energy efficient design, the use of renewable energy, and then, high performance insulation, windows, mechanicals. One of our top priorities is to minimize energy use and reduce costs for the future homeowners. Because if we give them an affordable mortgage, but they can't afford the utility bill, we've sort of missed the point. Earlier, I talked a little bit about how Habitat has its roots in racial justice down in Koinonia Farm, and we strive to continue that work through our diversity, equity, and inclusion practices. And as a volunteer, you play an important role in creating that culture of inclusivity. If you're interested in contributing directly to these important conversations, I'd encourage you to join our DEI committee. This committee plays a key role in coordinating initiatives that promote inclusion within our organization through education, policy development, and outreach to the broader community. We think that this work is more meaningful when we do it together. We're literally stronger together when we embrace our shared values and work towards a common purpose, building strength, stability, and self-reliance through affordable home ownership. And that's why creating a culture of belonging is at the heart of everything we do. People of all backgrounds and experiences should feel comfortable volunteering with Habitat, and you are an important part of making that happen. So when you're on the construction site, say hello to someone new, ask people questions about their experience and get to know them. It's a great opportunity to build social capital when you're working towards a common goal with people from all different backgrounds. And we also want to make sure that all volunteers and staff treat everyone with respect and dignity and are committed to the safeguarding or protecting the well-being of each individual involved in our work. So thank you in advance for being part of that respectful environment for everyone. Now we're going to sort of transition to some of the, common questions that come up when we talk about Habitat for Humanity. Um, and one of them is sometimes people think we gave away the houses for free. We don't. We sell the homes. We sell them at a price that's affordable to our future homeowners, and it's less than the cost of construction. Um, we prioritize making sure that they're simple, durable, energy efficient, but the home is priced so that it's affordable for people who meet our income eligibility guidelines. And then that affordability is protected in perpetuity, meaning it will remain affordable even if the home is sold in the future. The homeowners get equity by making their mortgage payments, but they don't get a big windfall if there's market increases in home values. This helps to ensure that community continues to have access to affordable housing for generations to come, and the homeowners who live in the house have that stability financially and physically of having a home of their own. And how do we choose these homeowners? There's sort of three broad categories of eligibility. Each homeowner has to have a housing need. The family has to be living in substandard housing or facing other barriers to accessing home ownership. Lately, the biggest one has been financial. We sell our homes to people who earn less than 60% of the area median income. And if you're in that income bracket, you can't afford the average priced home in the area. Prices have really gone up exponentially. Another category that we look at is the ability to pay. The household must have a steady income and be able to afford a mortgage. Usually there's a minimum income requirement. We look to see that someone doesn't have too much debt, so they wouldn't be able to afford the mortgage, sort of good enough credit. And then we look at their willingness to partner. Every future homeowner with Habitat contributes sweat equity by working alongside volunteers to build their home. This is about 250 hours of sweat equity per adult. And if someone has like a physical disability that makes doing construction difficult, we will make accommodations, but they still make a big time commitment. And we find other ways to achieve the goals of sweat equity, like learning about your house, contributing to the effort, meeting volunteers. So there's also often a lot of assumptions that people make about affordable housing and who affordable housing is for. And it is for anyone who meets those eligibility criteria I just talked about, and it's regardless of race, religion, or any other identity. We welcome homeowners and volunteers of all faiths, no faiths, ensuring that our work is inclusive and accessible to everyone. It's important to note that Habitat is subject to fair housing and anti-discrimination laws, just like any other mortgage lender, ensuring that everyone has an equal opportunity for home ownership. Another assumption is that the only volunteer opportunity that we have is building houses. I mean, ultimately that's what we're all doing, but there's different ways to help us build houses. We have construction volunteers that get out there with the hammers and the nails and the saws, but we also have a bunch of different committees, and I've already sort of talked about them off and on throughout this presentation. There's numerous ways to get involved, fundraising and event planning as well. So we have a few office volunteers. So please let us know about your skill or interest to see if we can find the right fit that will be a meaningful way for you to contribute to the work that we're doing. Some examples of these committees that have current openings. We're almost always looking for people with good construction skills to be trained to be site supervisors. We take construction volunteers with no skills or lots of experience, but whenever we find those people with construction experience and a lot of patience, we try and promote them to site supervisor in the long term. We also have a family support committee. That's where we pull the mentors for our future homeowners and help people transition from being a rental tenant to a homeowner. Uh, Another popular volunteer opportunity is hospitality. It sounds simple, but it's so appreciated. Um, Volunteers bring things like hot coffee on cold days or baked good they've made themselves or donated day olds from a local business. And bringing those treats to the construction site, it helps those volunteers who are out in all weather feel well cared for. So sometimes it's water in the summertime and things like that, and creates a positive and welcoming atmosphere. We don't have hospitality volunteers every construction day, but maybe you can help us with that. We also have our site selection committee. We have a safety committee. We have a building committee that works on policy. So if you're interested in joining any specific committee, please send an email. You can also, I'll put in the chat a link to the page on our website where we list a bunch of different committee opportunities. If something's of interest there, then you can email volunteer@pvhabitat.org so we can try and see if there's a committee that's a good fit for you. This fun event is coming up soon. Our gingerbread build is a fundraising event that, I'm calling it an event, but it doesn't happen on one day. It's a take-home gingerbread build contest. So teams commit to raising funds, kind of like your walkathon, your telethon. You get people to pledge to support your team. Habitat gets the gingerbread build pieces, just the basic four walls and a roof of the house. We give those to you. You take them home, and then you get to build and decorate your creation at home and send us in your pictures for our judges to decide who's going to win our prize. And it's just a lot of fun and a great way to get people of all ages involved in supporting our work here, building actual houses by building some creative and fun gingerbread houses. And the registration for that's now open. It's a early December event. So go sign up, ask your friends to form a team, and check that out on the PV Habitat website as well. Later In the springtime, yeah, usually I think in May, we do our other annual fundraiser, which is the Feast for Habitat, which is a great, fun after work event on a weekday, usually a Wednesday, where we get local restaurants to donate food, and you get to go around sampling beverages and food, right? Wine, and I don't know, one year we had kombucha, a whole all different things from a bunch of places. And where there's a silent auction where you can bid on things, some oftentimes music. If you want to be one of our behind the scenes people, it takes a big committee to plan this event. And then about 50 or so volunteers the night of, doing everything from helping set up to making sure that we compost and recycle that, and helping the restaurant vendors. If you're interested in event volunteering, again, email volunteer@pbhabitat.org, and we can maybe get you on one of those planning committees or get you volunteering the night of the feast. When we're talking about construction, so we're moving on from those events. Uh, as an individual, you can sign up for a construction shift, but sometimes you have a group that you want to sign up to do construction with. Maybe it's your company. Maybe you and your coworkers want to come and build together as a team building experience. A team build is an opportunity for companies, organizations, schools, or other groups to come together to build homes while also raising funds to support Habitat's mission. It's usually a group of 4 to 8 people that agree to sponsor the day of construction. We ask for a donation of $800 for a team build to build together. No orientation required. So you could just get you and your coworkers signed up for that one particular day. We discount that for school groups. It's a $300 fee. And these bills offer a unique experience where teams are not only contribute their time and labor on the construction site, but are also supporting financially the cost of the home being built. You get to do something you don't normally get to do, working side by side. And if you're part of a group that's looking for a meaningful volunteer experience, or if you're interested in organizing a team build, please reach out after the presentation and we can talk to you about scheduling. We also sometimes do what we call affinity builds. There's no fee for our women build or any other affinity group builds. These are just special invitations, which gets back to our core values of making sure that we want to make our volunteering and our culture of belonging throughout the whole organization. So sometimes people feel more comfortable starting something with people in a similar affinity group. So we have been doing a women build usually once a month on the third Sunday of each month from 12 to 4 p.m. If you're interested in joining a women build after this orientation, you can go ahead and sign up for a shift on Volunteer Up. If you have other ideas for other affinity groups that you would encourage underrepresented people to get involved, please reach out as well. We invite people for Women Build to come who identify as women, but everyone is welcome. Sometimes we have a female site supervisor, sometimes if someone's not available, we might have a male supervisor. It depends on, who's available that day. So on to the construction and hospitality volunteering details, a little bit of the nitty-gritty for you guys who want to know what to expect before you go to the construction site. So whether you're an experienced or a first-time volunteer, we welcome all skill levels on the construction site. Every bit of help is valuable. There will be a chance to work alongside other volunteers, including our volunteer construction site supervisors who will guide you every step of the way. We'll talk a little bit about safety and what to bring. So the way that individuals sign up for construction shifts is you all signed up on Volunteer Up for this orientation, so you've already made a profile, you've done the thing, you've figured out how to sign up for a shift. It's exactly the same for signing up for construction shifts. You're going to go back to Volunteer Up, you're going to look at the calendar, and you're going to find the day that you said sign up and click on that. And after you're signed up on Volunteer Up, you'll see that there's mostly of the shifts are on maybe 2 to 4 times per week. So we don't do construction every day. It's based on our site supervisor availability. Weekdays and Saturdays are typically a day from 9 to 4 p.m. Sundays are usually a half day from 12 to 4. But if you have signed up, you want to check your email before you show up at the site. So if, for example, the supervisor is sick, maybe the weather's beautiful, but they've got the flu, they might send out an email to cancel the day. Or if the plan was to do outside work and instead it's pouring rain, we might have to cancel. So that's one of the important reasons to sign up for shifts is so that you can be notified about cancellations. You can arrive 15 minutes early so that right at 9 a.m. that you're ready to get going and you've kind of found your hard hat and started to get comfortable. Um, when you come to a construction site, every volunteer should bring a water bottle with them, hopefully a full water bottle. You bring your own lunch and snacks. You have to wear closed-toed shoes, even in the summertime, no sandals. You need to be dressed for the weather. So you could be working outside, you could be working inside. So layers are your friend. Wear sunscreen if you're going to be out all day. Um, and even though I said layers are your friend, what you don't want is dangling layers that are going to get caught on things. But um, you want to not have big jewelry or anything sort of like that, but just layers that can keep you warm. Or in the summertime, you can get down to that t-shirt level. Pants are recommended. Um, we will provide you with all the tools and safety equipment needed for the day. But if you want to bring your own work gloves or something, that's fine. But you might want to just make sure you put your name on them so you don't lose anything. There's we will have gloves and everything on the site. I talked a little bit about hospitality volunteers earlier, and this is something that just really makes the construction volunteers feel valued. It's usually there's a break around 10:30 in the morning, and if we have a hospitality volunteer that day, they might bring extra water so people can refill their bottles or single serving snacks, ice in the summer or coffee in the winter. There's a wide range of what different hospitality volunteers do, but all of it is super appreciated and really helpful. So if it's something that you think might fit your schedule to take an hour out of your day to drive over to the site with some treats and sign up on Volunteer Up. Because what we don't want to do is have two different people spend time baking cookies and then they don't get eaten because there's two people who show up. So hospitality shifts are right on Volunteer Up alongside the construction shifts, and there's also a hospitality committee list that you can be added to ask questions about what's appropriate to bring and other things like that. If you're going to be volunteering on the construction site, then you are part of making it a safe construction site. Site safety is a top priority during every Habitat workday, and we want all volunteers to have a positive experience, but that can only happen if everyone stays safe on the job site. Our construction site supervisors will provide some on-site safety instruction and to ensure that proper protocols are followed. But it's also important that you are part of creating a safe culture on the site. You want to avoid wearing baggy clothes or jewelry. You want to tie back long hair. You want to respect people's space, ask before touching anyone. You want to wear the appropriate PPE. That stands for personal protection equipment, which is just a fancy way of saying things like hard hats, safety glasses, ear protection. We have those on the job site, and we want you to put them on. Especially when you're doing different tasks, you'll want to know what the safety rules are for that task. So always ask. There's no stupid question when it comes to safety. And if you aren't comfortable with this task, don't do it. Some people will go on the roof and other people will work on the ground. So you want to make sure that you tell people which tasks you're comfortable with. And if you want to try something new, you also want to communicate that because the supervisor's juggling a lot of different things. And if you want to say, hey, can you teach me how to use this tool or try something new? Communication is a key to safety. You are going to have a little homework assignment after this orientation tonight. We're going to ask before you sign up for any construction shifts that you watch a short safety video. Um, we're going to send you an email after tonight with a handbook that's going to go over a lot of the things we talked about. And it's also going to have a link out to this construction safety video. There's an overview from Habitat International. And then we also have additional safety videos on our YouTube page. Our insurance company has more safety videos. Our expectations of you, if you're going to be volunteering on the construction site, is that you arrive on time. Oftentimes, there's a sort of morning meeting, and it's a great important time to listen to logistics and instructions at the beginning of the day. It helps the site supervisor to know how many people they have so that they can divide people up into groups or assign people different tasks. If you have to leave early for some reason, let the site supervisor know so that they don't give you something that's going to take all day. They give you something that might be accomplished in the time you have. We also ask that you are patient. When you get a whole bunch of people who've never done construction together to do construction, sometimes, you got to do something twice. That's part of the educational experience. Or sometimes you have to wait for the supervisor to be available to instruct you. And sometimes there's just curveballs that none of us can predict, like delays in deliveries or other things that result in changing plans or improvising. So be flexible, be patient, and embrace the experience of learning. We'll get more done by working together. Maybe you have kids. You're wondering if they can come and volunteer with you. Um, OSHA and our insurance company and there's a whole bunch of rules. We can't have anyone under 16 on the construction site. But anyone who is 16 or 17 years old may volunteer, but they need to have their parent or guardian sign a youth waiver and bring it with them each and every time. And they need to come with responsible adults. If like it was say a group from a school, like then they're like maybe the senior class at a local high school wants to bring a group, or then you can have one per adult per four youth, as long as all the parents have signed or guardians have signed the waiver. We sometimes have students from technical high schools like Smith Vocational who volunteer as part of their educational experience, but that's coordinated through their instructor at the school. Individual youth volunteers can come just with these parental approvals. So if you think that this might be for you, then let us know. Everyone who made an account on VolunteerUp signed a liability waiver as part of the profile process when you were signing up. And I can email you a copy of the youth waiver if you think that you're going to be coming to the construction site with a youth on one of the upcoming days. We also usually have paper copies there at the construction site. So where have we been building? So Pioneer Valley Habitat, we build throughout Hampshire and Franklin counties, and over time, where we find land will vary. Right now, we have a house under construction in Greenfield on Birch Street. Um, it's coming along really quickly. We're doing inside work there primarily. There's still a little bit of outside siding work and things to finish up. But this two-bedroom home is probably going to be finished in early 2026. It will be Habitat, our affiliate's 60th home, and we're really excited about that. We also are about to start a one-bedroom home in Northampton on West Hampton Road. This is a very recent picture, as you can tell by the fall foliage leaves here. And we've got the foundation walls in, and we are trying our darndest to get the concrete guy back to come pour the slab. The weather and scheduling delays have made that a bit challenging, but please keep your eye on the Volunteer Up calendar because we're expecting to add days for Northampton very soon. And when we do, this is really late in the season for us to start framing a house. So we're going to try and get it done, get that up and closed in as soon as we can. And we'll need folks who are love being out in some brisk fall weather to get out there with us and frame this house. We've got other projects in the pipeline. We're working on some of the legal and pre-development stuff for a 4-home project off of Cook Avenue in Northampton. We've got other stuff brewing in Montague and more to come soon. So now I would like to try and share a video from one of our Habitat homeowners.
When you know that it used to be just land and you and all volunteers helping each other to get that house, one day you just come in and see, oh, that house, you see how's that been? It was just last year, just a floor, and now it's a house. Yeah, it's a nice feeling, yeah. You feel like a pride, yeah.
I think the thing that I take away most from this is the sense of pride. Like, this is my house. Like, everywhere I walk, like, I look at the shed, I'm like, oh, I did that. I go in, I look at the attic crawl space, oh, I helped frame that. And every little piece of the house, there's like a piece of me in it. And I've had my 2 daughters be like a big part of the process too. So like, even the siding, my daughters picked the color of it. So now every time I see the color, I'm like, oh, my kids picked the color of it. So every detail, like, they're in it too. It definitely makes me feel really good that I've done a lot of things like out of my comfort zone, that I'm like, oh, now I know if something goes wrong with my house, I can be the one to fix it.
It's nice to work with the Habitat folks. They are all very nice people, all different backgrounds, very knowledge, very helpful, very nice people. To own the house is always the big dream, to have your own place. So I encourage everybody to apply, take this experience, because like what they say always, it's nice to build your house with your own hands.
Since being a part of Habitat, every single one of my friends or family or anyone who's having any sort of like housing complications or anything in their life, I'm like, you should apply for Habitat. Here's the website. Let me tell you all about it. I have a lot of other friends who are single parents. They're like, oh, I can never own a home. I'm like, I thought the same thing, but you can own a home. It's such a great opportunity, and I'm like, here's how, because I want other people to know about this opportunity and not to be afraid to like take that leap. I knew about Habitat for like 8 years, and I was just like, they wouldn't ever pick me, so I'm just not gonna apply. And then 2020 happened, and I was like, well, anything can happen, right? So I just applied, and it all worked out. I mean, I'm a couple months from being in a house that every little detail me and my kids picked out together. So the whole experience has just been amazing.
Well, I'm planning to try to make a good place for my kids to playhouse or a small garden, some project in their rooms, just to make them happy, make it a home. Yeah. Thank you so much.
So thanks for listening to that video with me. It's a couple of years old now, but I just love hearing directly from our homeowners about their experience and how much it means to them to have a Habitat home. So after tonight, you have a little bit of homework. If you're going to do on-site construction volunteering, we ask that you watch the online safety video. The link will be in your volunteer handbook, which we'll email after today. We want you to sign up for a construction day on Volunteer Up, or come email and say you're interested in being on a committee and let us know about that. Or if you want to help financially, consider making a donation online or signing up for the gingerbread build. You can register your team for that now. Thank you so much for your patience and listening. Well, I introduced you to volunteering for Pioneer Valley Habitat for Humanity.